Hi everybody, today me and Gregory are going to make baklava. The easiest, yummiest baklava ever. Okay, so what we need is phyllo dough. And of course nuts. I used mixed nuts. Here, let's just get a better view here. Mixed nuts, but again you can use, if you prefer pistachios, just pistachios. If you prefer almonds, just almonds. You mix it up, almonds, pistachios, whatever. It's all good. It comes out good. Okay, we need unsalted butter, 1 cup of unsalted butter. I'm going to put the recipe at the bottom of the video. We need ground cinnamon for a mixture. And we need, for the syrup, which is going to be at the end, we need cinnamon sticks and sugar. Sugar?
Yes! Sugar, yes.
Yeah, and water. Okay, now for the mixture, what we're going to do is we're going to ground the nuts. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. And we're going to mix a teaspoon of cinnamon and some sugar, and we're going to put it to the side while we prepare our phyllo dough. So I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. Very easy, not complicated at all. And for the syrup, we're also going to need honey. So maybe about ½ a cup at the end with the syrup. Okay, so I'm pouring my nuts in my food processor because I want them chopped. Again, this is personal preference. I like mine chunky, so I'm gonna grind them, but I don't want them in, I don't want them into a powder. I want to actually feel nuts when I'm biting into it. Okay, so you do it to the consistency that you like. Now you're gonna have to go a little far because it's really noisy, Greg. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Also, because it's mixed nuts, for example, like the walnut, they chop way easier than the almonds or the Brazil nuts or the hazelnuts, for example. So if you're going to do them, if you want to mix your nuts, say pistachios and almonds, for example, ground them separately, preferably. But I wasn't about to go through this to ground mine separately. I personally, I like the big chunks. It's just like you see, like this is a real big, you know. Sometimes you have big ones mixed with small ones, but for me, once they cook, they're fine, so it doesn't bother me. So we're gonna mix this. We're gonna add our sugar and our cinnamon to it. So then you mix the nut mixture slowly together, and then once it's all mixed well, you're gonna put it to the side, and we're gonna start with our phyllo dough and start buttering our phyllo dough, layering into the pan, and I'll show you in a second. So you take your nuts and you take your sugar and your cinnamon, and this, you mix it well and you set it to the side. This will be your filling. Here's my phyllo dough. I'm only using half, so take your phyllo dough. It's usually double the size, right? But I'm only using half of it because my pan is a 13 by 9 pan, so half is perfect. I won't have to fiddle around with the phyllo dough. So once it's cut in half, don't worry about if you have cuts. Like, see here, my phyllo was frozen, so it's cut. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Once it's in the pan and once it's cooked, you will not, aesthetically, it's going to look perfectly fine, and it doesn't matter if there's like little tears like this. So now what we do is we're gonna layer in the pan. At the bottom, I usually put 4 to 6 phyllo. You have to butter each phyllo in between, but what I do is, it's way too much butter. I do 2, for every 2 I butter in the middle. And the bottom is gonna have 6 phyllos, and then we're gonna lay our first layer of the nut mixture. Okay, so here we go. This is our pan. What you do is you melt the butter. It's 1 cup of butter. And then you need a brush, a pastry brush, and you're going to put butter all over your pan, sides included. Once you've done that, we're going to start laying our phyllo. And we're going to do I'm going to do 2 pieces of phyllo Here, I'm going to show you right now. Greg, are you done? There's one. Careful. There's one. And there's another. And then you have to work fast with phyllo because it dries quickly. You could put a damp cloth on it in between layerings, but if you work really quickly, you're good. So put some butter now in it. But gently, Greg. Gently. Phyllo is very delicate. Okay? Watch, I'll show you.
Oh,
See?
okay.
You don't have to necessarily rub it there, you just dab it. See? But again, if you have these bobos there, it doesn't really matter. Once you have your nuts and everything on top, it's all good. And it doesn't have to be spread out completely, but you get the idea. And then we're going to put 2 more pieces of phyllo. Again, we're not looking for perfection because none of this matters once it's done. There's 2 more. Now you're going to go slowly. Right? Okay, and put the butter.
Like that?
Yeah. Seems like a lot of butter, but it is. It is, but it's flavorful. I guess you could use less if you wanted to. And I've seen people use cooking spray. I've seen people use olive oil, but honestly, the butter tastes better. Okay, so that's our 4. Okay, then we have another layer here, 5.
Another one.
And then another one, 6. Okay, and then once Greg butters this, we're gonna butter the sides as well, Greg. And then we're gonna put our first layer of nuts down.
I'm really bad at this.
No, you're not. It's good. Okay. And here I'll show you the sides. Look. You could go lower down, eh? Lower.
Okay, you want to do this?
I'll show you.
Mess it up.
Okay, so basically, once you have a good layer down here, you're going to start again with the phyllo. Now, in between the nuts, you only put 2 sheets of phyllo down. Okay, so, and basically you keep doing this until you have no more nuts.
And we butter them again?
Go ahead, yeah, you butter again.
I'm gonna do the sides.
It's done. It's done. So now you can put the.
Do you do the sides again?
Now you put the phyllo, the nuts in. But try to stay on the phyllo, Greg. Okay, go ahead. Greg's a lefty, so it's a challenge to get him to teach him how to do stuff because I'm right-handed, and with everything from cutting an apple to
oh my God, no.
Yeah, to pouring stuff out of he has a hard time. Okay, so there we go. So now we're going to put 2 more layers down. And then you're going to butter them again.
That's a lot of phyllo.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead. You could put 3. A little bit more. Okay. Yeah, we're going to put another one because that one's ripped. I don't want the stuff to seep through. Okay. Go ahead. Okay, so we're going to keep doing this until we're done our nuts. And I'll come back to show you what we do after. So we're at our top layer. The nuts are done. And on the top layer, I'm just going to finish whatever phyllo I have here. So if it's, because I can't really put it back in the fridge now, we've manipulated it. So I'm just going to, whatever's left over, I'm going to use it for my top layer. And then what we have to do is score it. Let's see how many. I think there's probably going to be like 6 or something.
6 of them?
Okay, so that's 2 there. That's it. This is our last layer. This is the top of your baklava. And you butter it well. Okay. And now I'm going to get a knife, which is right here. What you have to do is score it. So, again, we don't want to go all the way.
We don't want to go all the way down?
No, we do want to go all the way down. Just we don't want to have to cut the bottom. It's just more for the top, because once this is cooked, it's really, really hard to cut. The phyllo is so crispy that it flies all over the place. So by scoring it like this,
it's much easier.
It's much easier. Also, once it's baked and we do the syrup is very easily absorbed when it's cut already.
It's gonna go through the holes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, so it's I scored it. I cut it in triangles because technically I usually cut it in squares, but I realized I cut my pieces too big, so they're now triangles. So the oven's preheated to 350. We're gonna put them in. We're gonna put the baklava in, and I'm gonna show you what we do after when it comes out. In the meantime, I'm gonna start preparing my syrup. Okay, so here is my syrup, which I'm making while my baklava is in the oven. Syrup. So we're gonna let it boil a little bit with the cinnamon, and it's gonna get a little bit thicker. So after about 20 minutes, I'm gonna add some honey to it. Actually, it's been about that time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put half a cup of honey, and then let that cook down a little bit. Okay, let's put it in here. I'm just eyeballing it. A little more, a little less. I don't think it matters all that much. Okay. Once the baklava is ready out of the oven, we're gonna pour the syrup on top, and then you have to let it rest so that all the syrup soaks into the baklava. Okay, so my baklava is out of the oven. It's well cooked. Look carefully. So it's time to put the syrup on, and you know, you'll read up on recipes. Sometimes they say pour hot syrup over a cooled baklava or cooled syrup over a hot baklava. Honestly, I've tried it every way and I don't see a difference. So if there's a chef or somebody out there who knows what the difference is, please let me know. So right now they're both pretty hot, and I'm just going to pour my syrup over my baklava. Okay, see if I can do this with one hand because my assistant has disappeared. Okay, so that cinnamon stick is not going to stay there. You hear the sizzling? That's a good sound. Basically, you just want to cover as much of the top as possible. Let me take this off. Let me just pour the rest in here. There we go. So now you have to leave this rest. So basically until all the syrup is soaked in. It always tastes better when it's sat in the syrup for a while. So give it a try. It's very easy. I'll put the recipe down in the below the video. Let me know if you try it.